Let's go. I won a tournament, finally. First place, let's go. Here's the deck. Okay, I recorded this deck profile the other day and the audio sounded atrocious, so I'm trying to position myself on the other side of my phone and maybe it'll sound okay. So yeah, I guess let's start from the top, maybe like a do-over. Here we go. Got one Raikou, this PURE Lightsworn, the purest Lightsworn I've ever played. One Raikou, one Lumina, one Arceus. So this is something to actually talk about, I guess. I've played up to 3 Arceus before. Arceus is an amazing card. Arceus did put in work for me. You could definitely consider at least 2 of this. Aaron, one of the weaker Lightsworns, but basically there was a point where I had to Rota for Aaron just to mill 3, so it mattered. 2 Lila. Just 2. This really does let you seal in plays when you have JD. You can use her normal summon first to hit a back row, which seems mildly counterintuitive because the point in JD is to blow up the board, but really you need to stick that JD to win the game, obviously. 1 Jane. This is kind of counter GB / people are going to run Jane anyway. This is a card people are bumping up, and I have 1 ultra rare copy is why I kept it at 1. 2 Garoth. So this is something probably a little more surprising. Last weekend, I hosted the April Fool's Invitational Tournament in North Carolina, and Josh Johnson Boss, famous GB player, hosted like a pre-local where you could run a selection of banned and limited cards in your deck. So I chose Graceful Charity and a second Lumina. So that's why I had 2 Garoth, and I just straight up forgot to take the second out. But it kind of serves the same purpose against GBs. At least this gets over a normal summon the Quarry. Card that won me the event, Graganith Lightsworn Dragon. What this does has piercing and gains 300 attack for every Lightsworn engrave. So it's kind of a meme, but against Sasha Egger, this card puts in work, basically. For some reason, it is the Sasha Slayer. It's not my first time I've won a match against him because of this card. So I literally was sitting there after game 1, like, do I side this out? And I'm like, no, heart of the cards, keep it in. And then I did open the card, stuck it on the board with 3,200 attack, and he couldn't get over it. So, Graganith OP. Another card that is OP, Wolf Lightsworn Beast. I was milling this all day. I was milling 2 Wolf all day. I milled 2 Wolf at least 3 times. One time, my opponent had Fossil Dyna up, so I didn't get to summon him at least. But yeah, one time I was off a recharge. That felt pretty good. My opponent opened a set Raikou. I go recharge, mill 2 Wolf, draw into Arceus, and I did not lose that one. So that was pretty good. 2 Celestia. Another thing that some people are playing 3, but again, I had the 2 ultis, so that is why I chose 2. Honest, obviously it's Honest. I did have to double Honest over a Brio when someone was at 4,000. I had a Lila. And they were honestly in a pretty good game state, but I had a double Honest, so that won me that one too. 2 Judgment Dragon, obviously JD. Card Trooper, the Honorary Lightsworn. Plague. This really, the more I play Lightsworn, I'm realizing how often it does come up that stacking for Plague gives you that 1 additional turn you need to seal out the game. Yeah, like I honestly do mill out. This deck takes more skill than people give it credit for. 1 Necrogardener and 1 Shield Warrior. So this is like a bad second Necrogardener. It stops 1 monster from dying from battle 1 time, and you do take the damage. But it's kind of a second Necrogardener as far as keeping something on board. It's also a Warrior. You can Rota for it. And again, this was really in my deck when I was playing the 2 Lumina. But I wanted to keep it in because having that extra defense is actually kind of important sometimes. 1 Cyber Dragon, inspired by Michael Boyd, kind of, and him maining 2. I usually main 2 when I play Machina, but I don't know, I had these in the side deck, and I was playing 2 Trap Stun in the main deck, and I ended up going with 1 and 1 of each, and this definitely helped me a lot. I did play against Machina. I even had to tribute summon for this one time to scoop up a fortress, but did not feel too bad. Gores. I'm actually not sure if people typically main this in Lightsworn, which is ridiculous to me because it's like no defense to the deck, so we need some defense. Heavy. MST, I see why not everyone mains this, but really, kind of like I said with Lila, I want to hit the back row and stick my JD on board. Cold Wave, ridiculous card. Honestly, if this card was half as good as it is, it'd still be playable. Rhoda, I really do run like 5 different warriors and 6 targets, so this is never dead. Thins by 1. Don't need to call Rhoda any better than it is. 1 monster reincarnation. Again, motivated by the rarities I owned. I owned 1 Spanish Super First monster reincarnation. But I personally don't love this card, but I see other people doing well with it. It did great for me at this tournament. I loved the 1 copy, and my opponents even commented that they were consciously playing around the second when they saw this milled. So, cool. Foolish. Get you Wolf or whatever piece you need. Charge. And then 3, Solar Recharge. The actual best card in Lightsworn. Like, Recharge is at 3, therefore this deck is still decent. Like, this is the best card in Lightsworn, and it is at 3 copies. There was at least 1 time that I activated 3 in a turn. And I do believe I won that. Mirror Force. So, this is a real trap card. If your opponent attacks you, it destroys all their face-up attack position monsters, so that is a pretty good effect. And it's more unexpected in decks that don't run a lot of traps, obviously. 1 Threatening Roar. Again, I own 1 Secret. So I do love these like arbitrary decisions of like, do I run 1 or 2, being made by the heart of the cards and what I own, you know? And it did end up working out. I did activate this at least a couple times, and it's another one of those cards where if they see 1, they're going to be worried about there being more. They might be slightly cautious blindly popping your back row. 1 Trapstone in the main. This was incredibly clutch at least 1 time. I'm curious why people don't mess around with this more. Basically, I guess you don't main it because what if you run into another deck not running traps is kind of the bet that you're hedging there. Oops. 2 Beckoning Light. So this card, obviously, incredible card when it is working. And part of why this tournament run went so well is because I did just have the right cards at the right time, you know? 1 time, like the final play of the tournament, for example, I drop a JD, my opponent solemns it, I am like, okay, Beckoning Light, grab JD, and then I won. So, yeah, it was just a combination of the cards falling right, you know? And kind of like when people even talk about like players who are really good and cheat, like you need to be good at Yu-Gi-Oh! To win with this deck still. It's not like completely random, you know? All right, on to the extra deck, I guess, first. We ran the 2 Chimera Tech. I don't remember if I had to go into 2, but it definitely comes up. Cataster, use that to lock out a game against Machina 1 time. Android, Flambell Dude. Definitely run this if you are playing Plague and Lila in any deck. The 1 time you don't is the time that will come up. Brio. Goyo. I did have to go into Goyo 1 time to close out a game. Ancient Fairy. Technically an honest target or whatever. Black Rose. I ran 2 Stardust Dragon. This is like a holdover from when I was just playing a different extra deck. This should absolutely be a Mistworm. I thought about it. I own 5, but I couldn't find one, and it ended up fine. Random Dark End, Thought Ruler, and Colossal Fighter to round out the extra deck. So, like I said, we did go into stuff, mainly 6 stars though. And the side deck, mildly interesting. 1 additional copy of Cyber Dragon, 2 Consecrated Light, obviously you mill it, and you can grab it back off Beckoning or whatever. Shuts down Blackwings. My Body as a Shield. So this card gets around Trap Stun, and all those different things, sort of, and protects your monsters. It's not particularly good in this deck for any particular reason, but I'm a big fan of the card. This thing is good in this deck in particular. You flip down all of your opponent's monsters and then blow them up. So whether it's an absolute 0, whether it's a gladiator beast with a name, you know, it's really good to flip down your opponent's whole board. This card has kind of gained popularity because of Gigavise, but as an alien player, I've already had it on my radar. So, an additional copy of Dust Tornado. I might not need this in this deck, but I guess this is for Whirlwind. Trap Stun, shut down the back row. 2 Compulse. Bringing these in was actually pretty nice a lot of times. So the protection it provides, but also the offensive plays you can do. Like you have a monster on board and you want a JD and you have this set. So you just you blow up all their cards, you compulse your monster, it's slightly less bad. I don't know. Don't need to super talk that long about compulse. 2 Iron Wall. I actually didn't side this in, I don't think, at this event. Obviously a great card if it does shut down your opponent's strategy though, and it provides you protection at the same time. 2 Royal Decree. Shuts down traps forever, obviously. Really, this card shuts down traps until your opponent deals with it though, right? So it's not necessarily even that bad to run cards like Compulse and Royal Decree alongside each other, because your opponent's actively going to be trying to destroy your Decree and turn your traps back on. So you have a Decree up and a Mirror Force set. They destroy your Decree. They do not think that your other card is going to be a Mirror Force. So it's kind of like, as long as you understand the rules, then you can break them type situation. Like, it's not necessarily horrible to run Decree and traps even. But in a deck that doesn't run a ton of traps like Lightsworn, even better. So yeah, that was my tournament run. Got first place at my first event in Edison. So yeah, if you like the deck or whatever, yeah, thank you for watching and peace.